Well, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us here today at Speed Gaming for the continuation of our Metroid Prime 2 Echoes weekly randomizer. Today we've got our standard settings, so nothing hopefully too crazy, but we do have some very powerful runners today. Before we get into that, my name is Marion, and I'll be your wonderful host for this evening. And just a fair warning, we are a little bit short on trackers today, so your item display might be a little bit off. If an item's missing or if we're missing some notes, we apologize in advance. We're a little short on volunteers today, but don't worry, we're here to have some fun. Can't have fun without a few headaches, am I right? Well, with that being said, let's go ahead and get down into the race, shall we? We have on the left, you can see our wonderful Cestrion, and on the right, you might recognize him from his prime displays. We have Samuel. Now let's get down to the rules, shall we? We're going with our standard settings today, so what does that mean? Both runners will be starting in our main energy controller of Great Temple. We're going to see you most. We are starting with our Violet Translator. A little bit of quality of life. Lets us get into Aegon Waste without needing to search for the translator. And we get access to early Violet hints. In addition, multiplayer items will be shuffled. So we have the possibility of coming across unlimited beam ammo, unlimited missiles, and double damage. Double damage and unlimited missiles together, well, you're in for a fun time as secret locks become less of a problem. Translator gates are vanilla, and in order to win this race, one player has to defeat the final bosses after collecting all 9 Sky Temple keys first. Whoever does so the fastest will be declared today's winner. I will say as we go along today's race, if you have any questions, concerns, inquiries, comments, post them down below. I'm sure we'll get to you as fast as possible. But with that being said, the countdown has started. These runners will be on their way shortly. Well, as that countdown waits for it to reach 0, we hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. It's a beautiful Saturday morning or evening or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. We hope you're staying safe, having a wonderful time. And again, thank you so much for joining us here today. Our countdown has reached the 10-second mark, so let's get right down into the race. And it looks like right off the bat, Umos is kind enough to grace us with a wonderful light item. Say hello to our Sunburst. Now, Sunburst isn't terrible. It's great once we find Light Beam. And we have information that Transport A access has a suit. Well, that'll be useful, as we need to wait for us to either get a Emerald Translator, or we need to wait until we go through GFMC Compound. Unfortunately, we are on New Patcher, so the second we start the Albert fight here with a Dark Alpha Splinter, that Emerald Gate will rise. So unfortunately, we're going to have to wait for Emerald, or we're going to have to wait for Power Bombs or Screw Attack to actually access it. And it looks like I may be wrong. I think we're running on Old Patcher today. Oh, I've got to get my notes updated. I apologize. And game audio's low. Well, that's not good. We'll get someone to look into that right away. But first things first, we are going to fight Albert, the Alpha Splinter. Normally, Albert gives us our energy transfer module, which, fun fact, is only used for lore. Energy transfer module has 0 purpose, as it's not connected to anything. So please bear with us. We apologize for the low audio. We will get it fixed as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Albert is a little bit of a long fight, especially since we don't have any items to make it faster. But on the bright side, we have our space jump boots. Now, space jump's going to break this entire game wide open for us. And here on Transport B access, everyone say hello to the first Sky Temple key. Sky Temple key 7 in Transport B access. First things first, our runner's going to head straight down to Temple grounds. We're going to take a look over on what Aegon Entrance has for us, at least on the transport to Aegon Waste. And we're going to see what's hiding in our Morph Ball tunnel today. And can we get a good look at that item? Well, it's a little bit too far away. Maybe a missile, could be a bomb. No, bombs are a smaller model item. But we want to get these cutscenes started as soon as possible. That way the ink storm does not cause us major damage. And since we are on low health, at least with Sam, the damage from that ink storm will be monstrous. But both runners seemingly want this item, and absolutely we do, as we have our missile expansion, which allows us to fire missiles. And look at that, we have a power bomb expansion, or as I like to call it, a cheeseburger, since that's what it looks like. We're going to use that power bomb expansion immediately to go over to Junction Site and take a quick peek at what this item is behind the wall. Now, although we only have one power bomb, we can get our drop right from the crates behind us. We don't have bombs, so we can't use the splinters on the top level to actually get bombs. And that's interesting. We have Dark Suit immediately. Granted, out of logic, we don't have our main power bombs yet. But that means Dark Suit that will be our light suit, unless we find power bombs early. Excuse me while I retract my previous statement, as our main power bombs appear to be right here. So, because we have main power bombs, we can actually go do this GFMC compound loop. As if I'm correct, are we on New Patcher or Old Patcher? We are on New Patcher, so the gate is automatically down in Security Station. Because this gate is down, there are only two ways to break it. A, screw attack, or B, power bombs. Because we have power bombs, we automatically get this gate open. And follow that Emerald Translator. That Emerald gets us logical access out of the Transport A access, and it also allows a quick item peek here on FTA. It looks like Cestrion's going straight for the light suit, while Sam's going to take an item peek and a Violet Translator hint. Hopefully not dying because of the turret. Gotta be careful. It's trying to stay under the turret, that way we're out of its line of fire. And we have a Dark Aligned upgrade near Illuminoth Corpse. Now that could be a number of places. Sadly, there are a lot of Luminoth corpses around, and each of them could be found near an item. Thank you, Echo Sins, for sometimes being vague and sometimes being straight on point. But with that, looks like Cestrion's going right for the light suit, while Sam's taking a quick peek at Windchamber Gateway. Do we have anything major that we need? We got a red key. Is it a good red key or a bad red key? We're going to have to scan it to figure out. The only red keys we need are Torvus and possibly Aegon. Now, we could skip Aegon's keys, but that requires a tricky out of bounds. And unfortunately, that's a multiple room out of bounds, so we really don't want to skip it unless we have to. But if it's a Torvus key, we might need it. And it looks like Sam's going right for a wonderful extended dash with a bunny hop. That extended dash, we're going to dash into the ground, save that momentum, and use the momentum to fly us across the large gap. That gets us into Windchamber Gateway early without screw attack, and we see that it's just a useless item, so nothing we need to go out of our way for. On the other hand, Cestrion's got their light suit from Transport A access and making their first ways into the Aegon Waste. Unfortunately, Echo's early game is pretty quick, everyone. Unfortunately, the later we go, the more sluggish it gets. We're gonna hopefully get all the chaos out early, but we can't jinx it. And I apologize if I go silent. It's just for taking notes. And fun fact, did you know if you walk while holding L, you get to move slightly faster? Thank you, Joe Kent. We're going to see a few more of you today. All right, so it looks like Sestron's taking a quick peek at Mining Plaza, looking behind the glass. Doesn't look to be anything important, thankfully, because Mining Plaza requires a Morbus to be defeated, as well as us grabbing Echo Visor. That can be a bit of a process to go obtain, but because we have power bombs, we can get this little item up here with some dark ammo off of Aegon's Junction area. That's okay. Dark ammo is useful once we have Dark Beam. For now, we're just going to put it in our pocket and move along. Bam's just a little bit behind, but not terribly so. We're still in the early game. Decided to take a quick shortcut to Wind Chamber Gateway to see what's hiding, and knowledge is always good to have. The more knowledge you have, the better you're able to route around. Now that we have our light suit from Transport A, we're going to make our way down to Aegon entrance and follow behind Cestrion, who's going right behind the Luminoth Corpse. See if we have that dark aligned item. Is it here? Nope, that's our Amber translator. Okay, so it must be a different corpse. So Amber's good. It gets us into Sand Cache. But unfortunately, without Morph Ball bombs, we can't access the Dark World. We need power bombs to activate this portal sequence. But because we have Amber, we can get the translator hint on Portal Terminal, which tells us where Emerald can be found. Thank you, game. Unfortunately, you're about 3 minutes behind on that. Like I said, because Cestrion found Amber, that's going to do two things. One, we get Amber hints. Two, we get Sand Cache open. And three, we also appear to have our Light Beam hiding on transport to Aegon's entrance. Light Beam's going to do good things for us later, but nothing right now that will help with Jump Guardian, though, in the near future. But we are going to do a bit of a standable trick here in order to get our unlimited beam ammo without requiring Spider Ball. Oh, that's a neat little trick. So what we just did there, we loaded the room in such a way that the hive spawned. Now, because we have the hive nest, we can use that as a standable block. That nest has collision. We can use that collision to space jump onto the rock ledge behind it. And because we can jump on that ledge, we can then space jump over and get just enough height to reach the item on the spider track without requiring Spider Ball. So, interesting little fact. Interesting little trick there. And thankfully it works for us. And here we see we see Bomb Guardian being defeated with the Power Bomb. As for some reason, Bomb Guardian takes extreme damage from Power Bombs. For a Bomb Guardian, you're not too powerful. And unfortunately, you're not too helpful either. We just have another missile expansion. But thankfully, missiles are what we need. Especially now that that's our second missile expansion, that gives us a total of 10. Because we have 10 or more missiles, we are now set up for what we call priority drops. In short terms, that means the game is more inclined to give us what we're missing. And we have the keys to Dark Aegon Temple, which are in 3 different locations. And Sam finding out the hint for our wonderful Emerald translator that we've already acquired. And good news, because we have Light Beam, we're able to cross Sand Canyon, get this right over to an elevator, check Spider's treasure with Sanctuary Fortress earlier than intended. And most importantly, because we have bombs, we're actually able to get the item here hiding on top of the sand. And there's our Power Bomb main hint. Thank you, game. We have already located that. And great, we already found our first E-Tank. And it looks like Cestrion's missing a Power Bomb, so he's not able to break the door to get into Spider's treasure. Would have been nice. You get a total of 3 item checks. 1 you're able to grab. You can technically grab 2, but 1 requires a little too precise Morph Ball instant morph. But you still get knowledge of 3 different items. And by Spider's treasure, we're referring to 3 different items located just off that elevator. We have Hazing Cliff and the other ones. Oh, I'm forgetting names today. I'm sorry. Been too long behind this booth. Now Sam's following Cestron's tracks almost to the letter. We got Light Beam. We've located our Morph Ball bombs, and now we're going to say hello to Avok over in Aegon Energy. Grab a translator hint, and grab that handy dandy expansion. Or maybe we're just going to leave the expansion behind. Nope, we are going for the expansion. Alrighty, that brings our total up to 15. Because we finally have Morph Ball bombs, we can access early Dark Aegon, and that's going to allow us to get Jump Guardian and take a peek at what not battleground, but Broom Closet. That's the word I was looking for. We can see what Broom Closet has today. Oh, you saw a nice little skip there by Cestron, not doing the entire portal sequence. If we have space jump, in this case we do, we could just use a slope jump to land on the last platform of that puzzle, activate the bomb slot, or in this case the sand block, and the game only checks if the last sand block is destroyed, as the game's programmed to think if the last block is destroyed, the other two must have been, and the cycle is complete. We use that to our advantage by skipping the other two. Saves about a minute. Not bad. Can always use more time saves. And here we see route differences going on. We've got, what looks to be a ball upgrade hiding on top of Crossroad, while Sam is making their way to Spider's Treasure. And once again, I apologize for the tracker being so outdated. We're a little bit short on volunteers today, so we will get that tracker updated as soon as possible. Well, looks like we're going to go check Broom Closet and Spider's Treasure. Spider's Treasure appears to have something there. That's our Seeker launcher. We definitely want that. Now, unfortunately, there's two different ways to get this item. Sam's going for the only way that we have. We need to get a precise instant morph, while Cestron picks up their second key to the Sky Temple in the Broom Closet. Or in this case, it's also known as Trial Tunnel. But as far as Sam goes, he knows that Seeker launcher is there. That is great information to have. It's not too useful in Aegon. There's only one location that has a Seeker locked door on that, and that's Mining Station B. Unfortunately, to even get to that door, we do need Dark Beam. And we also see another SDK. That's 3 keys that we have knowledge of. And speaking of knowledge, it appears Cestron is firing Light Beam at a statue. Must not be happy with that statue. But hold on a minute. Jump Guardian came out of nowhere, and Jump Guardian's defeated. Well, what just happened? Well, it turns out Jump Guardian's hitbox is spawned in where the cutscene starts as soon as you load the room. Now, because that hitbox... Oh, hello, Dark Visor. Well, that's going to be helpful later on, especially when we get to Battleground. But in short, because Jump Guardian's hitbox is active, we can use Light Beam, or any beam for that matter, and fire pellets at it. Jump Guardian does take damage, but Jump Guardian cannot be defeated in that hitbox state. Thank you, safety features. We can get Jump Guardian down to 1 hit point, start the fight by entering the middle of Judgment Pit, fire a lemon, and Jump Guardian is defeated by the power of Citrus. And Samuel pulled off a wonderful instant morph to get that Seeker launcher extremely early. Again, that Seeker launcher is not going to be too useful now, but hey, at least we get some missiles out of it. And we can access Mining Station B once we get Dark Beam. And Cestron's going for a precise trick here. We're standing on top of a post, and we're trying to use an enemy and a slope jump to our advantage to try to clip all the way on top of the room. Unfortunately for Cestron, it's a very precise trick, as we need to jump off of an enemy, that little ing pellet there. And I say precise trick, but Cestron pulled it off second try, so hey, that's a lot harder than it looks. We stood on top of the old bomb slot, and we jumped off of an enemy in a precise location. Now Cestrion's got the hard part, trying to get an instant unmorph with a triple bomb jump and jump across to the item. And because Cestrion fell down, we're not going to waste any more time on it. We'll come back later when we have Boost Ball. Boost Ball's going to help us get that. And unfortunately, we're going to need Dark Beam or Annihilator as well, just to activate that portal. Maybe we'll come back later for it, but we'll see. And speaking of wild tricks, Sam, best known for Exo Skip and their prime shenanigans, we have gone out of bounds at the 17-minute mark. We're taking a peek at what's behind the door here for storage D. See that it is nothing that we need, and unfortunately we have to go out of bounds as it's the only way to progress. We do not have Screw Attack to activate the light crystal to allow us to leave. But we also found Boost Balls, so Cestrion's one step closer to getting the upgrade. What upgrade it is, unfortunately, I did not get a good look at it. Unfortunately for Sam, we do have to get a bomb jump into an instant unmorph to a space jump. I say unfortunately, but Sam moved a little too fast and went around the pillar that we needed to stand on. Cestrion's stun is complete over an Aegon Waste for now, but because we defeated Bomb Guardian and Jump Guardian, two things are open to us in Temple Grounds. With Bomb Guardian defeated, we have access to Dark Missile Trooper, a hidden mini-boss over in Hive Cache. But Sam's attempting to do sand processing without Boost Ball. That's a little difficult, not terrible, but we're using a triple bomb jump to get stuck behind the turret, use the turret as a piece of collision to unmorph on, and then jump across. Unfortunately, because the turret does slide us down, it is a bit of a wonky collision box. This is going to be a little bit harder to get the precise angle that we need. And because we are sliding down, Sam needs to time his bomb jump precisely so that as soon as he gets over, he'll have enough time to bomb jump on top of Sand Processing's ledge. Now, this trick is doable with Screw Attack. There is a small method to get a Screw Attack bonk into Sand Processing. Unfortunately, it's a lot harder than the bomb jump instant unmorph. But good news for Cestrion, Hive Chamber B appears to have gravity boost. So when we get to Torvus later, that's going to be a huge help. And our second E-Tank has been found, 2 E-Tanks. Can't complain about more energy. Even though we have Light Suit, and we still pack a punch. And unfortunately, because we don't have Spider Ball, we can't access this item here in Main Reactor. We're going to have to do two things. Either A, jump across and get a well-timed instant morph, which is a lot harder than it sounds. Or B, we're going to scan dash across and still try to jump up top. Thankfully, these rails have collisions, so Sam's able to just stand on top of them, break the glass, and hey-ho, have an Echo Visor for your troubles. Cestrion, meanwhile, because Jump Guardian is defeated, they've made their way back to GFMC compound, and we are checking the item on top of the ship, which in this case appears to be more light ammo for our light beam. I can't complain about more ammo. Granted, we have unlimited ammo, so that item does nothing but give us more validation. It looks like Cestrion's following Sam's early Temple Grounds loop by getting getting the translator hint on FTA while going for an item peak. Well, we don't need an item peak. We've got Light Suit. We can just get the item. And good call by Cestrion by coming to get this item. That's our Annihilator Beam. So good play there. Wait until you had light suit to get FTA's item. Annihilator Beam's going to give us access to late Dark Aegon and allow us to take care of a few extra checks. Meanwhile, Sam's decided to go deeper into Aegon Labs. We entered bioenergy production. We've noticed that the item isn't something that we want to waste our time with, so we're just going to roll on past after we get the Metroid out of our way. And you see here, Cestrion's doing the same thing Sam did earlier, going for an extended dash. We're conserving our momentum after dashing into the ground and releasing that momentum to boost us across. Do we see a useful item? Again, unfortunately not. It's just an expansion. And because we have unlimited beam ammo, Annihilator is going to be our best friend for a long time. You just spam fire Annihilator, which has the neat little feature of tracking enemies. So that allows us to clear these pirate waves a lot easier. Oh, Sam, meanwhile, unfortunately, because we don't have Dark Beam or Annihilator, we can't access the Dark Worlds for Aegon Labs. That prevents a lot of early checks, but we are going to have to keep moving forward without it. Unfortunately, there's only one item we have left to check here, and this is Central Mining Station. Oh, and Sam fell down and he missed the extended dash. He had a bad angle on it. So we're going to use the backup strat, use a bomb jump into an instant unmorph. That allows us to space jump across with another extended dash. And there we go. Second try is the one that counts. And we're maneuvering carefully. That way we don't hit trigger for the fight. And we're just going to roll past these space pirates, looking at a canister of Phazon. Please do not stare into Phazon directly. Phazon is a hazardous material. And another down point for Sam. We have to get on top of this gate. We didn't open the gate when we were originally in Mining Station A. Because we didn't open the gate, this gate is locked from both sides. And because it has collision, the only way out is to either A, take the long way around, or B, jump on top of it. And good news for Cestrion, it looks like that Annihilator Beam was the correct answer, as we had to use Annihilator and Light to access Plane of Dark Worship here, and Dark Beam in the Dark World. I guess those things really did not want us to find that Dark Beam. Unfortunate for them, we have our light suit, so that Dark Beam showed no problem at all. So what do we do now? We're 25 minutes in. We've got Cestrion has all three beams. Sam is missing Annihilator, and unfortunately also missing that Dark Beam. But Sam still has the early Dark Aegon loop to do. We've yet to defeat Jump Guardian, check Junction Site, and get the STK out of the Broom Closet or Trial Tunnel. So Sam is going to be here for at least another 3 to 4 minutes. That's going to give Cestrion time to come back to Crossroad. We have that boost ball now, and because we have all our beams, we can access this item without needing to do any fancy tricks. And here we see Sam doing for the third sand block on Portal Terminal. Again, as long as the last sand block is destroyed, this puzzle will register as complete. It's all the game checks for. Cestrion pulling off an amazing half pipe with our boost ball, as our boost ball acts like a skateboard. We use that to go into Crossroads. And what do we have here? This item's been eluding us for so long. Say hello to our screw attack. I said it was a morph ball item earlier. I clearly am mistaken. That's our screw attack, one of the most broken items that we have access to. If not the most broken. Because we have Dark Beam, we get Incash 4. That gets us our second energy tank for Cestrion. While Sam takes the peek, notices that screw attack is on top of Crossroad and is debating if they want to try to get it as well. Sam's going to go for the same trick that Cestrion attempted to pull off. Step one, we need to manipulate these little ing pods into the correct position on the half pipe. If we get them in the correct position, we can get enough height to jump on top, then use the bomb jump method. Unfortunately, because the little inglets are not cooperating with Sam today, we're going to have to leave it behind. But have no fear, because Boost Ball's right around the corner. But we do have to fear slightly after saying that, because Dark Beam and Annihilator Beam are all in Temple Grounds and Sky Temple Grounds, respectively. So we're a little bit behind on that. But that's okay. It's still early. We're only 27 minutes in. We only have the location of 3 Sky Temple keys. So we still have a lot of game to go. But because we have Light Beam, that's going to allow Cestrion to make their way into Torvus Bog. Sam picking up another SDK off of the trial tunnel. That brings Sam up to a total of 2 or 3. And I believe Cestrion's riding at a solid 2. The only thing we need to access Torvus Bog is our Dark Beam to get through the first few rooms. Super Missile is found submerged in water. That we know that supers are in Torvus Bog somewhere. If I had to take a guess, I would put them at Lower Torvus. And Lower Torvus has the most submerged water there is, so you'd have the best chance of finding it there. And if I'm correct, Cestrion's might be going for a detour to take STK hints. Nope, we're gonna forget STK hints today. We're not gonna do any out of bounds. We're just gonna use this. Oh yeah, we are. We are going out of bounds today by using the gondola. Now this tricky little gondola gave us all headaches as a kid when we were first playing Echoes. But now that we've learned its mechanics, we are abusing the gondola to get on top of it and jumping straight out of bounds. Thank you, Elevator. Your service will not be forgotten. Now that Cestrion's out of bounds, we are going to work our way all the way around the room, go straight to Sky Temple Gateway, and get our key hints. And it looks like Sam is just finishing off the early Dark Aegon loop. And it looks like Sam's going for a second attempt at that little inglet jump. All right, let's see if he can pull it off. All right, he's got the first part down. He jumped on the inglet. Now he's on top of the secondary platform. Now we need a triple bomb jump into an instant unmorph. And we need to time it just right. That way we can roll across. Unfortunately, Sam fell down. Will they go for it again? Yep, they're going for it a second time. Okay, he's got it a third time. He's up top, but will he get a good bomb jump? Yes, he does. Almost had it. Just a little shy on the height. Ah, it's a painful fall. Can we do it again? One more shot, Sam. Oh, we missed again. But Sam is determined. He wants that screw attack, and he wants it now. As for Cestrion, he's successfully gone out of bounds, bypassed the Seeker and Super Missile doors that have been locking us, has made their way to the gateway. They're going to get those key hints. Fortunately, Sam has decided that it's wasting too much time to stay and do this trick. We're going to come back at a later time. All right, get your pens and paper out. It's time to know your location of your key hints. We have 2. We are missing 7. Your locations today are Torvus Plaza, Cursed Lake, Reactor Core. Reactor Core is going to be fun. That's hiding all the way in Sanctuary. Oh, Sam has gone back to try to do that hit with the inlet. He had the right distance, but he didn't have enough height. All right, let's go with key hits. Following Reactor Core, we have Defiled Shrine, Sentinel's Path, Polling Chamber. That's when we saw Sam peek earlier over Spider Treasure. The Hazen Cliff and Hall of the Honor, not Hall of the Honor Dead. Following calling chamber, we have Med Vista. Alrighty, so not terrible selection keys. You can find them posted below. Oh, what does that mean? What do we need to actually get all those? Going through the list here. Transport B access is a freebie. Trial tunnel is a free one. Torvis Plaza, if I'm correct, we're going to need Boost Ball and Spider Ball to get that. We're missing Spider Ball. Cursed Lake, Dark Visor, Reactor Core, Spider Ball, or a well-timed Screw Attack. Defiled Shrine, we also need Dark Visor for, but that one's going to be last as it's right by the gateway. All right, so it looks like Sam's gone back after collecting Boost Ball to try to get Screw Attack. But here's the thing, because we have Boost Ball, the camera for the half pipe is going to constantly get in our way. So Sam's got to try to work around the camera problems. Meanwhile, Cestron's still out of bounds, trying to make their way back over to the portal and head into Torvis Bog. Torvis is going to hide Meditation Vista for us and Torvis Plaza. Thankfully, no lower Torvis keys. We don't need to do anything in lower Torvis that we know of. There's a ton of checks down there, so we might need to go down there later, especially for that hint earlier, if you remember, saying supers are hidden somewhere in water. Continuing on Sentinel's path, we need Annihilator Beam for, and we need Echo Visor. Culling Chambers, we need Spider Ball. We can't get in there without it. And Meditation Vista, we require Screw Attack. So the biggest thing holding Cestron back right now, we are missing Echo Visor, and we're missing Spider Ball. Now Sam located Echo Visor, that's off of main reactor after defeating Dark Samus 1. And we've got a hint here telling a missile system is near exposed Phazon. The only missile system we're missing is super missiles. So it's entirely possible that the two hints coincide with each other. Near exposed Phazon and found somewhere submerged in water. It's unlikely, but the possibility is there. Now, Sam, unfortunately, is having some major camera problems trying to get Screw Attack. They're having fun on Crossroad. Granted, we have Boost Ball, but unfortunately, we don't have the instant unmorph into the jump that we need. Fortunately, Sam's trying to turn and jump at the same time. It's just not cooperating with him today. And the heart-wrenching thing about this entire process, Annihilator beams off of FTA. It's not terrible to route back into. As for Cestron, they've made their way into Torvis Bog. Personal opinion, I think Torvis Bog has some of the best music in all of Echoes. I just love the calm, relaxing atmosphere it brings. And because we have Emerald Translator, we get these green hints which tell us Battleground has a Morph Ball system. That is fantastic information, as we are still missing our Spider Ball, and Spider Ball classifies as a Morph Ball system. It is entirely possible that Spider Ball is on Battleground today. Taking a moment of silence to take in that wonderful Torvis music. All right, let's keep on moving, shall we? Now, it appears we do have some audio delay. I apologize for that. Oh, there's Cannonball. Alrighty, Cannonball is a good item to have. It doesn't help us out too much because we have Light Suit and Boost Ball already. But just to go over Cannonball, a Cannonball's is a state that we get whenever we enter a kinetic orb cannon. But before that, let's take a look at Cestron as he tries to jailbreak into Torvus Plaza. Normally, we'd have to go all the way around to Meditation Vista, go through Underground Tunnel, and come up here after doing the Dark World and the Light World of Torvus Bog. Or we can do the easy method and skip it. Well, we don't have to do Dark World at all. That's just to lower the gate. We can skip it by doing what we call gate skip. If we time our jump properly and morph, we can use a little bit of extended collision just outside the metal fence. Now that metal fence is large enough for us to balance our morph ball onto. If we time a precise double bomb jump, we can jump on top of the gate and roll right over. Now Sam, unfortunately, is still trying to get Screw Attack. It's eating up a lot of their time. This is giving Cestrion a good amount of lead in Torvus Bog. Now, what are we still looking for? Well, in order to beat our game today, we're going to need that spider ball, and we're going to need to find those super missiles. Super missiles are going to give us a lot of great damage, and that spider ball we need for some SDKs. In addition, we are still missing Echo Visor for Cestrion, so we do need to make our way to Mining Plaza. Or not Mining Plaza, I'm sorry, Main Reactor. Main Reactor is where Echo Visor is hiding. Cestrion, meanwhile, has entered Torvus Plaza. For anyone who's gone through Torvus Plaza, you know how much of a headache this spider track is. What's an even bigger headache? We don't have Spider Ball to do this puzzle. But that's okay. With some well-timed screw attacks and space jumps, we can use collision and the puzzle itself to get where we need to. We can just bypass everything. So consider the third SDK collected for Cestrion. That crosses Torvus Plaza off our list. And now we can use Torvus Plaza to backtrack into Meditation Vista and get the other Torvus Bog key. What helpful keys we have today. Practically just a few rooms apart from each other. Now Sam, thankfully grabbing Screw Attack early over in Sanctuary Fortress, we have access to get this elevator, which is going to take us right into Torvus. This is going to take us into Torvus Temple's elevator. So that's good news for Sam. That's going to get them plenty of movement options, especially with Emerald to open Underground Tunnel. Unfortunately, though, because we are missing Dark Beam, we can't go through the main elevator to leave Torvus. That's a Dark Beam door. But that's okay. There's a backup method we can use with the help of Light Beam. And it's just a few rooms away. It's just sad that we can't go underwater to use that Dark Beam door. It's one of my favorite doors. And we can see that a visor is found near an elevator unit. That's interesting. That might be Dark Visor. Although it doesn't matter because both runners have Dark Visor. And if I'm thinking, now that I think about it, it could be Echo because main reactor has an elevator. So because Cestrion's still missing a visor, that might push him to search more for elevators. Well, we need elevators regardless. Elevators are great. They get us where we need to go. They move us between worlds. Oh, Sam, meanwhile, has just entered Meditation Vista. We don't have Screw Attack. Yes, we do. We did get the Screw Attack. I apologize. We finally got that Screw Attack. Well, that means we don't have to come back from Med Vista. That's helpful. Speaking of helpful, Cestrion's going out of bounds to go check Torvus Energy, and we're going to see what Isha has. Torvus Energy we need to do we need Torvus Energy to actually get the elevator to work. That way we can go into Lower Torvus. I'm sorry. Lower Torvus is just by the pirate fight. But Torvus Energy gets us an item and an emerald hint. The more knowledge we have, the better. What Cestrion is doing here, we've just gone out of bounds, and we're climbing to the top of the Aether box. Top of the room, using this so that way we can clip our way back inbounds and continue along. But we're not going to check Torvus energy. At least not right now. We're going to do the pirate fight first. And that's a neat little time skip. Cestrion went to the top of Torvus Temple, went right to where the air pirates spawn in for the second part of Phase 1, dropped a power bomb, and hey, you just destroyed both the flying pirates without them giving you a headache. That's a neat little time skip. I never would have thought of that. Let's keep moving, shall we? Unfortunately, do we have super missiles? Did we ever locate where those were? Doesn't matter. We open the door backwards, so the super lock doesn't exist. So now we can go into Torvus Energy, say hello to Isha, and see what's hiding here. A missile expansion, well, that's not too useful right now. What does your hint say? Well, that's a pretty good hint. Quadraxis is partially defeated. We don't need to do Quadraxis, at least the fight itself, since that only has a missile expansion. But Yumo's item 2 might have something. If Tumos has anything, then yeah, we're going to have to do Quadraxis. Or we could do something even harder and do Quadraxis skip, where we just bypass the fight, but that trick is a one-time only trick. If we fail at that trick, then we've got to quit and reload the save file. But with that being said, it looks like Sam has made their way back to landing site. We took a handy dandy save warp since we were done in Torvus. We're going to keep on moving, go through Hive Chamber A and B, grab the gravity boost hiding on Hive Chamber B, and keep moving forward. And I apologize for the slow response. I'm having a bit of a latency problem on my side. Oh, technical problem resolved. There we go. All right, as far as the tracker goes, once again, to those of you just joining us, we are a little short on volunteers, and I don't have the ability to update that tracker at the current moment. So I apologize for how out of sync it is. But for your 45-minute rundown, here's how we're looking. On the left with Cestrion, we have roughly 4 Sky Temple keys. We're missing Spider Ball for Go mode, and we're also missing Echo Visor. Echo Visor and Spider Ball are what we're missing. On the right with Sam, we are still missing Dark Beam and Annihilator Beam. The unfortunate part is we need Annihilator Beam to get Dark Beam, as Dark Beam is hiding on Plane of Dark Worship, and that's a dark portal which is required to be activated first. We can't scan it. And we have a red key hiding here on Hall of the Honored Dead. Thankfully, this puzzle is the same across everything. If you know the order, this puzzle is great. If you don't know the order, this puzzle can be painful. But going left to right, 1, 1, 3, 2. The amount of times we need to spin the kinetic orb. And there we go. Puzzle completed, and we have our Dark Aegon key. Well, that's not useful to us right now, but we don't know what Amorbus has, so it very well could be useful. But Sam really needs to make their way over to FTA. If they don't go to FTA, they're not going to find their Annihilator, and they won't be able to continue forward, as Dark Beam locks a good amount. Dark Beam locks a good portion of Torvus. It locks a good few with shortcuts. And Dark Beam is just generally a better fighting tool. Yep, there's a hint for the super missiles. They can be found submerged somewhere in water. Now, my general thought is I'm thinking it's going to be Torvus, more specifically lower Torvus. If I want to take a gander, I really hope that Alpha Blog has it. That would be hilarious. It'd be painful for the runners because you'd actually have to go down to Alpha Blog and work our way around. Granted, we have gravity boosts, so it's not too much of a problem. It's just a little bit out of the way. But Cestron's still continuing with cleanup. We did find we have never done Dark Labs. So because we've entered Dark Labs for the first time, we've got a good handful of checks that we can do. We're going to check Feeding Pit under the poison water with our light suit. We're going to bypass going anywhere further since the going backwards is locked. And we have another item check going forward, as because we have Annihilator, we have access to Sonic Boom Room, or Hide Storage B, I believe. I could be wrong on that letter. We have our second Torvus key hiding on Doomed Entry. Going through the double path, we're going to find Battleground. And remember earlier how we had a Morph Ball system on Battleground? Say hello to our Spider Ball. That is one part out of 2 for Cestron being in go mode. Sam, on the other hand, is so close to FTA. We're going to grab this light ammo expansion off of GFMC's compound ship item. Sam is entering FTA. Please check the FTA item. Do not go into Sanctuary. Okay, we're good. We're actually checking the item. There's Annihilator. That's going to be great news for Sam, because now they can actually go get Dark Beam, and oh no, Sam's following the item logic, using the boost ball, bombs, and Annihilator with Light Beam to go into Sanctuary Fortress. And unfortunately, because we have Seeker missiles, granted Seekers are out of order, out of logic, we can do a lot in Sanctuary. Unfortunately for Sam, this is going to put Dark Beam pretty far behind. Oh, and Sam is showing why it's never advised to boost on that Sanctuary entrance bridge. Playing Pirate Bowling. Unfortunately, we hit a gutter ball with the Phazon canister. Meanwhile, Cestron has defeated Dark Samus for the first time. Main reactor is complete. As soon as we get the other item here. And great first attempt with the Screw Attack morph. Get the Echo Visor early without needing Spider Ball or doing the puzzle. That's one of my favorite tricks of all time. When we activate Screw Attack, our hitbox is the size of a Morph Ball. We can use that to our advantage. We can Screw Attack into that Morph Ball sized opening, and if we hit it at just the right height, we can wedge our Morph Ball sized hitbox into that Morph Ball sized hole, and that is a perfect fit for us to get that item. That saves us from doing the terrible puzzle. As for Cestron, they've also decided to enter Sanctuary Fortress, this time using the Spider's Treasure Gate found over in Aegon. Cestron took a quick peek at Hall of Combat Mastery. That's the room I kept forgetting. Hall of Combat Mastery has our Seeker Missile. We're going to get that later, but first we're going to check Cooling Chamber. There's our other STK. Remember, we got STK hints about 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago. Sam continuing through Sank entrance, realizing that the Sank entrance item is actually useful, and is just going for the Cobalt hint. Cobalt hint. What do you have? The keys to Dark Torvus, Run Dark, Aegon, and Light Torvus. All right. And Sam's picking up a power bomb drop. Use that power bomb drop later. It's always good to have spare ammunition. And it looks like we are leaving Sanctuary Fortress. We are not going further into it. That's a good call by Sam. You have Annihilator. You have some checks in Temple Grounds to go take care of. And you also have a lot more open to take care of your Sky Templar key hints. Because you have access to Dark World, that's going to get you your key hints and hopefully start pushing you in the right direction. As for Cestrion, we don't have Cobalt yet. That was found earlier in Torvus by Meditation Vista just outside Underground Tunnel. So we can't get Cobalt hints from Cestrion, but we can still move through Sanctuary Fortress. We've got all the equipment that we need. And here's a neat little fact about Cannonball. Cannonball does a few things for us. As long as we don't enter a kinetic orb cannon, we will retain this state forever. Or until we die, or until we reset the save file, or enter an orb cannon. Cannonball makes us permanently invincible from all damage in Morph Ball. In addition, it gives us a Mach Boost Ball. But most importantly, it does extreme damage to enemies who are weak to it. A prime example is Chica. If you're ever fighting the Chica Adult, throw a Cannonball at it, and Chica Adult is weak to Cannonball for some reason. I believe it's been determined that Chica plus Cannonball equals 500,000 hit points of damage because Chica Adult takes 4 times damage from it. Not sure how we figured that one out, but Cannonball is broken. Speaking of broken, we're going to use our handy-dandy Seeker missiles, and Sam's going to continue further into Inghive. Not Inghive, Sky Temple grounds. Sastrion's the one who's about to go into Inghive, check aerial training site. But before we do that, we're going to go into Sentinel's Path. Sam checking Ing Reliquary. Does it have anything useful? Well, it's got an E-Tank. E-Tanks are always useful. Can't complain about more energy. And here's why we needed an Annihilator plus Echo. Sentinel's Path requires it due to the sound lock on it. Pick up another Sky Temple key for your troubles, and I believe we are going to leave Sanctuary since we are effectively in go mode. We have everything we need to defeat the final bosses. Granted, we're a little shy on ammunition. It'd be nice to have 5 or 6 E-Tanks for the fight. But is it needed? No. Would it be nice to have? Yes. But before we leave Sanctuary using the lower Torvus elevator, we're going to go check Reactor Core and get the Sky Temple key off of it. And actually, we might not even use the lower Torvus elevator since we're only missing... Take a look at our list here. We're just missing a Cursed Lake and Defiled Shrine, as we already got Cooling Chamber. So because of that, I believe it's safe to say Cestrion's got a final route in mind. I believe after doing Reactor Core here, we're going to go right into Cursed Lake. And the way to do that is by using the save station here on Reactor Core. Use that to warp to start. Take the warp to start from landing site into a Cursed Lake. Grab a Cursed Lake. Exit. Then go to Defiled Shrine and head for endgame. Unfortunately for Sam, they're still looking for Dark Beam. They still don't have Sky Temple key hints. Fortunately, the routing just was not on their side today. But we are still moving. Anything can happen. Yeah, we cannot give up. All right, the Stamps are going to make their way over to Torvis Bog for the first time. Because we have Seekers and because we have Dark World access, we very well can get Sky Temple key hints. And I believe that's exactly what Sam's going to go for. That's going to give him plenty of knowledge on the remainder keys and a good knowledge on what route he should take. Because we have a good amount of keys hiding in Sky Temple grounds, I'm hoping that pushes Sam to go check Plane of Dark Worship, especially since a Cursed Lake has to be got. So once Sam makes their way to a Cursed Lake, they're immediately going to see Plane of Dark Worship. So Sam's on the right track to get that Dark Beam. They're on the right track to going about the rest of their keys. The problem is we still don't have Spider Ball, and that's hard required for Culling Chamber. And Spider Ball is also required for Emperor Ring Phase 2 by rolling around the exoskeleton. The exoskeleton larva. Or cocoon, that's what you call them. But first things first, we're going to go get those key hints. We're going to get pushed in the right direction. And hopefully that's going to break open everything for Sam. Unfortunately, Out of Bounds is the way to go. Out of Bounds is complicated in execution, but simple in nature, if that makes sense. And what I mean by that is it's easy to get out of bounds. It's difficult to move while in that out of bounds area. Every room in Echoes is contained in a box. Inside the box, we're okay. Anything outside that box, we call the Aether. While we're in the Aether, we slowly start to rise. Now, by constantly moving from in the Aether box to out the Aether box, we have the few frame window to input a jump. We got to be extremely careful as we need to climb the rooms. We just need a lot of perfect jumps, perfect inputs to get all the way to the top. There are two big no-nos for out of bounds movement. We do not ever want to morph, as by morphing that's going to send us right to the bottom. If we do morph, we've got to be quick on the unmorph. And the biggest no, never screw attack out of bounds. You're gonna lock yourself, and you're gonna have a reset on your hands. It's extremely difficult to get out of a screw attack while in the Aether. Nope, and Sam went a little too far down. Not happy with that. He did all that climbing just to fall back down. Not sure what Sam's trying to do. Probably just taking a quick moment to reconfigure themselves. That way we can climb up to the top of the room. Thestrion, in the meanwhile, has just entered Sky Temple grounds for the last time, making their way to Defiled Shrine. Granted, we still don't have super missiles, so we can't open the door in this room. So we do have to go out of bounds once again using the gondola. Thankfully, because we have not activated the elevator device, that's what I'm going to call it, the transport device, we haven't activated its sequence, so it's still here. We're going to use that to jump out of bounds and say hello to the beautiful purple and black haze of Dark Aether. As we silently move through the abyss, going out of bounds, taking a look at the world upon us, we have one thought that comes to mind. Somebody tell us where those super missiles are. Sam is having a difficult time trying to navigate across. But don't worry, we're almost there. If we can climb this room, fall on top of the door to load the next room, we can fall back in bounds and be on our way. We've got to land. We've got to land on the door or next to the door, or in this case, behind the door. That way, we can load the next room around us. Or correction, load the next room in general, so that way we can keep moving. And there's Sam going for Defiled Shrine. Got to manually aim since you can't lock on from the out of bounds. There's the Sky Temple key. What's Sam going to do? Well, we're going to go collect it. We got that super missile door blocking our way. Yep, Defiled Shrine is loaded. We're going to keep on moving away from Defiled Shrine. We have Seekers, so thankfully we can get that Seeker door off and go into Gateway. Thestrion, on the other hand, we're still missing We're missing Seekers. No, I believe we've collected Seekers. Or maybe we didn't. Well, we know where they are. We know they're over in Hall of Combat Mastery. We did take a look at them early. Here we go. Sam's finally got into Gateway to get the key hints. They've got 3. We're missing 6. Technically 5 because we know one's on Defiled Shrine. All right, Sestrion's entered Defiled Shrine. We're grabbing the last ink cache for that Sky Temple key. Key number 3 is ours. And that means in the simple countdown of 3, 2, 1, we are going for that. We're going to get out and go grab our end game. All right, here we go. All Sky Temple keys have been returned to their original points. We're using them to open the gateway to the temple. It's time to access the Sky Temple. Sam, on the meanwhile, we have information that a Curse Lake has an STK. He's going right for it, and that's going to get us that long-awaited Dark Beam. All right, here we have Emperor Ring. Now, because we have unlimited ammo, we can just spam fire Annihilator Beam at the Emperor Ring's core. That breaks open to Phase 2. Phase 2, we're going to roll around the exoskeleton. We have to destroy these 11 culverts. Handful of power bombs will do the trick. Great method is having 3 power bombs. 4 on the first power bomb, 4 on the second, and 3 on the last. Can we get it? No trouble at all for Sestrion. Great. Fantastic Emperor Ring 2. Now it's time for Emperor Ring number 3. Emperor Ring 3, there's a handy oversight left in the game's code. And I don't even have time to finish explaining it before Sestrion pulls off a fantastic 2-cycle screw attack. So what I was trying to explain is that Emperor Ring has a leftover hitbox on it. Originally, screw attack was meant to use to damage Emperor Ring, either remove some armor, plating, or other items off of Emperor Ring. That hitbox is still in the game's file. So because that hitbox is still there, if we screw attack into that hitbox, it will register as damage against the boss. We use that to our advantage by screw attacking the underside of Emperor Ring and committing massive damage against him. Now we're on to the last fight. Dark Samus 3 and 4. For phase 3, we're going to use a specific number of Annihilator shots to get damage down right where Dark Samus crashes and attempts to go into phase 4. And during this phase 4 attempt, we're going to try to go for a stun lock procedure. First step is use screw attack to deal major damage. In this case, fantastic. We dealt 50% of our health. Now we got a valid stun lock going on. And with the stun lock, if we fire missiles at Dark Samus, she is forced to raise her Phazon shield. That Phazon shield, when lowered, she's got a few frames that we can hit her. With that few frames, that gives us enough time to input dark beam damage, the most amount of damage on Dark Samus in that particular phase. And as such, an extremely clean final boss fight. Well done to Cestrion. Congratulations. And it turns out our audio has just been increased. There we go. And Sam has come across a cheeseburger and decided to forfeit. All right, this race was an interesting one. And what happened? Did I just get two notifications? Yes, I did. So with those two notifications, we welcome our very runner, Cestrion and Sam, into the booth. Congratulations,
yeah, hello.
Cestrion. That was an impressively fast race.
It was an insane race. Like everyone finished like very close. So, yeah, it was very, very jet, I have to say.
I think out of everyone, Cat Human was first with a time of 1 hour, 1 minute, 46 seconds. And the final time is 1 hour, 8 minutes. So, y'all, it was, it was too fast.
Yeah. I think what cost me some time was that I did some unnecessary checks. I should have immediately booked to Spider Ball after I knew about the visor and the spider. And then instead of like doing wall crawling to like Thomas Energy Controller and stuff like that.
Yep.
How did it go for you, Sam?
The primary thing was spending a long time trying to get screw attack as soon as I saw it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought about doing this and I was like, nah, I'm just giving it one try, and if I don't make it, then I just leave it and come back later, because I knew with GameCube controller and not being like that good with BSJs anymore, I was like, nah, I don't waste my time on this.
Yeah. I also read the Dark Align upgrade near Illuminoth Corpse as main reactor and thought I was really smart when I found Echo, and then I found a visor near the elevator. I'm like, well, there goes all that effort and reward from finding that out the window.
Yeah.
And also finding Seekers early. Like, I did Spider's Treasure very early, and I thought I would get rewarded for it, but with how I also went to, like, if this seed was longer, if the SDKs were worse, I would have done better, because I had like knowledge of keys. I just had a lot of knowledge. I went out of the way for a lot of hints, and I got knowledge about like Taurus keys, and I had both visors very early. Dark Beam wasn't really necessary. I only found it right after getting SDK hints. And then I also peaked Defiled Shrine out of bounds and fell down twice because of Echo's nonsense. And only to realize it was an SDK, which I would have learned anyways after reading the hints.
Yeah.
Echo's
also
a great way to summarize what happened here today.
Also, Super Misses wearing poisoned bark.
Oh. Huh.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe Supers would be in Feeding Pit. That's why I did the check, because that would like gain some time instead of doing the wall crawl for the Defiled Shrine at the end. Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't.
You're being too.
But yeah, I think that probably every runner, like at least since it was so close, I think everyone had like almost wrote it the same. At least I have a feeling like that. And just like some did like less checks or like did maybe one play earlier and then had to backtrack a little bit, but didn't cost that much time. But yeah, I think this. I think if you god route this, you can finish the seed in under 1 hour.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, I've got nothing on the notes here. It was incredibly fast for the early game, at least. Looking back at what we have here, let's see, where's my notepad at? There it is. Your suits were way too early. You found the information for light suit on transport A access, and then immediately came across a suit on if you found your dark suit hiding just before GFMC compound, which is great off of Junction Site. That's not Junction Site.
I wonder if someone did the play of
Going back to FTA.
Going back to FTA after the light suit, because I think if you do that,
considering that, but I didn't.
I was considering that too, yeah, but I didn't do it, and then I was like, afterwards, like in hindsight, I think this would have been the biggest god route you can ever do, because you get Annihilator, you can get Dark Beam immediately in Pod W, and then you can just like don't even have to do the BSJ to get Screw Tag. You can just get Boost Ball and Transpercent and just get back immediately, and you save so much time with that instead of having to backtrack again. So yeah, I maybe Cathuman did this. Props on him then, but yeah, that was like the only thing I was heavily considering, and then yeah, I guess I lost some time because of that. But otherwise, I think I wrote it pretty well.
Baja's making a comment here. Emerald being on the ship itself.
Yeah,
that would have slowed it down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if Emerald would have been on the ship, that would have been way different. Yeah, I think I still would have go for the suit, but yeah, Emerald on ship would have been very. I actually would have benefited my route because I did do Jump Guardian and then immediately went back to the GFMC area because I still was like, there has to be something on FDA at some point, even though there wouldn't be an Emerald yet.
Yeah, it looks like Baja made the decision to go to Aegon first instead of doing the compound loop.
Yeah, of course Baja does it. Baja doesn't like to go to GFMC.
That's kind of weird.
It's not bad. You found that power bomb expansion immediately, pretty much. So granted, it's just the expansion, but then after the expansion, you had communication area for your mains. So at that point, you're really heavily incentivized to, okay, you've got your mains. It really wants to push you towards compound now.
I mean, it was locked by bombs, and bombs were in Sandcache.
Sandcache, yeah, after your Amber.
So
yeah, but I mean,
technically, I knew that like it was logical, pretty much, because that kind of chain of events didn't require much. Since PBs were bomb locked, I was like, okay, then bombs has to be kind of early, which was. But yeah, I think there were just a couple of things that I could have done better just by routing. And also, again, after the spider hint and the visor hint near an elevator unit, I should have like immediately gone back to Aegon, and which I didn't do. I lost some time there. Plus, also my movement wasn't good in like out of bounds stuff.
Both seem to have a bit of hardship trying to navigate the out of bounds. But on the bright side, the out of bounds you both did complete were relatively quick, despite the harsh movement. So I mean, props to that, especially with super missiles being nowhere. No one was going to go get them.
I think going out for all your way for supers wouldn't have been good. Where was?
I mean, especially with your STKs and how much items you had when you entered Torvus. At that point, it's more like, okay, well, go do cleanup and get out. Torvus really wasn't anything.
Yeah. Well, at
Oh,
least I
well.
didn't embarrass myself losing against my prime partner.
I don't think there's a world where you do lose against me, except for that one alternate weekly where final bosses were turned off.
Oh, so
Yeah,
you
maybe
can't
then. But
you can't pull off a major
it,
time save with your exoskip.
in weird settings, then like it's game for everyone. But yeah, in like a standard, I think I have I'm at least a little bit solid.
Yeah.
I guess we should point out that Cat Human saying they actually did get supers. So
Oh wow, okay.
There's a
Didn't
world where you can get them if you've gotten the hint for super submerged in water.
I did get that hint, but I didn't want to go out of my way for Poison Block. But I guess I think if you get them before SDK hints, then maybe it's worth it.
Yeah, if you went to Torvus early, but
Mm-hmm.
with where Darkbeam was, I feel like that's kind of rough. That's a weird. That's like you need a bit of a very specific route for that to work.
Also, I had at one point I was like very angry that I don't know how to do Torvus Temple Seeker list, because I think if I could put that off consistent, then I think that going there would have been very good instead of like go all the way back and save warp and go to the Aegon. Yeah, I think I need to learn that. In this specific seed, that would have saved a lot of time for me.
Are you talking about in the elevator or in Torvus?
In the elevator, the really bad one where you have to like
That one
do
really
a
isn't that bad at
reflection.
all. The
I
one
know.
in
I
the
feel like
elevator is just a 2-shot and to a screw attack.
yeah, I need to look into it, but I think that one is somewhat difficult. I think.
It's a little bit trickier, but I think it should be easy enough for you.
Yeah, and then I also need to learn the Aegon transport area one, transport center one from the other side, from the elevator side. I think that one I think is a little bit more. I think it's also a double missile shot.
It is, but
And
it's
then you do it
really
again.
hard.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
think.
hard. You need to
But yeah, but I think. Yeah, I know. But if you get those, I think you save a lot of time there, because I think you save like 2 minutes. Yeah, I think though that would everything on my end.
I mean, overall, it was a fantastic race. You both were neck and neck, following each other at at least on the early game. Late game, everyone sort of went about their own way. Sam, you went for the early sanctuary play. You got your seekers early, but it looks like screw attack ate up a little too much time.
Yeah.
But other
If
than
screw
that,
attack was later, Seekers early would have been really nice, but
Yeah.
well.
That BSJ is hard. It's very hard, in my opinion. Especially with no screw attack.
I mean, you were close, and you had the distance right. It was just the height that kept getting you. At least
Yeah. I think you have to do some. You have to commit on like going a bit more forward, to get the correct height and the BSJ in the right direction. Because otherwise,
it works now. I probably will get it in a lot fewer tries. If I were to redo it right now.
Yeah, I would probably practice it at some point too, because sometimes like this seat, it's very important to know.
I think with that being said, we're going to start wrapping up our little program here today. Do either of you have anything you'd want to say for your final closing words?
Watch out for Cat Human. He's
Yeah,
getting very good.
He's getting very good. Yeah.
Stay tuned for the next Echoes tournament, as we might see all that talent come to new light. Whenever that may be. I think what's next in our tournament schedule? We got Prime or CGC?
CGC is next.
Oh, so there we go. We got pair Cat Human up with a partner and watch him fly.
He's already got one.
Well, look at that. Yep. We're one step of the way to it. Sestrian, anything from you, my friend?
No, GG's, and was a good seat. Very fast.
All right. With that being said, we're gonna start closing our program here today. So thank you everyone for joining us here at Speed Gaming for our Echoes weekly race. If you'd like to stay in tune with more Metroid Randomania headaches, or can't call them all headaches. Now today wasn't bad. You can find our information and social links down below. Sestrion, Sam, thank you for putting on a fantastic race today. And from all of us here at the Randomania, Metroid Prime Randomizer, and the Speed Gaming communities, we'll see you next mission.
See you later.